Join us for a riveting discussion on the Supreme Court's stance on mifepristone access, where questions about FDA oversight and abortion rights intersect, shaping the future landscape of reproductive health.
The U.S. Supreme Court hears arguments on restricting access to the abortion pill, mifepristone, challenging the FDA's oversight. Justices express skepticism about limiting access and question the necessity of such broad injunctions, highlighting the concerns about precedent setting and the right to sue over FDA decisions. Let's go.
Well, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. Going to be interesting. You know, the FDA approved mifepristone in 2000
Hmm.
as a safe and effective way to end early pregnancy, and it's been one of those things that's been targeted by conservatives.
Yes.
So, I mean, there are a lot of conservatives that aren't in this mindset, but they're the absolute abortion, no, abortion advocates are so against this one. So
Right.
that's why this has been moved all the way to the Supreme Court.
Right. First of all, this case really shouldn't have standing. The plaintiffs in this case, these are a group, the Alliance for Hippocratic Oath, whatever they call themselves, but a
Hmm.
group of doctors and dentists who believe that if this law stands, if the ability for the FDA to allow mifepristone to be accessible to the general public, and if a woman comes into their hospital or their ER, that they're compelled to assist to help this person in their complications when they believe that it is a violation of their religious beliefs, that they feel complicit in the sin being committed for aborting the fetus.
Well, this is a can of worms.
Is it really?
I think that we, my look. This is where other drugs are going to. When does it stop? If these people have the right to sue, and it doesn't affect them. So when you say they shouldn't have standing, I agree. So it's kind of hard for me to, you know, but I understand the passion of those that want to make sure that this the access is, restricted on this.
Right, but if you're going to deny someone in distress and they come to the hospital for care, and it's your job to care for them, but you are going to sit on the sidelines because of your beliefs that you're being complicit in the sin or perceived sin of that person who's seeking help, then why be in the profession at all, actually?
I'm going to apologize to Advent Health before I start this comment.
Uh-oh.
So Advent
Are
Health,
they a sponsor?
Advent Health
Do you
is
want to be a sponsor?
uh, both Orlando Health is going to be mentioned too. So this so if Advent Health is a is a Christian based
Hmm.
hospital,
Yes.
and then Orlando Health is not.
Hmm.
If you, and I'm not saying that, please, I'm only being hypothetical here. I do not know the rules and regulations at Florida Advent Health, but if you were to go there and there was a policy of denying this drug, you still have access through Orlando Health because Orlando Health has no religious restrictions,
Hmm.
right? So I'm trying to point out that you're always going to have other avenues unless you just ban the drug altogether.
Well, if I was, if I had taken the medication, which I'm free to do, it's legal, and there's complications, and I need to seek help as quickly as possible. I don't want to be hemorrhaging in the hospital parking lot. I expect when I walk into a hospital or an ER, I expect to get the services that I need.
Well, if you're hemorrhaging, I'm sure you're going to get the services
Not
you need.
necessarily. Not necessarily. The doctor or doctors in the ER may be one of these, doctors who say, "Hey, I'm not. I I don't agree with this. I feel like I'm contributing to the sin. I cannot treat you. I refuse to treat you." And I know some states and even the federal government do allow for some objection based on religious and beliefs and other beliefs. But I mean, these things are happening, and there is it's happened in Ohio. Not necessarily this particular situation, but a particular situation that we talked about before, where a woman went to see her doctor and said, "Hey, I'm having complications." She eventually miscarried at home in the bathroom. The police were called. I mean, she was tired of going back and forth to the hospital, waiting for the doctors to decide, okay, where do we stand here legally to treat this woman? That's what's happening in Texas. A woman had to sue the state to get an abortion because it was going to be a high risk to her to her well-being, but also the child was not going to be the fetus was not going to be viable. These decisions are not happening between the individual seeking medical assistance and their doctor. It's now being handled by the courts. That's crazy. That's just
Well,
crazy.
what
And it goes back to these cases being about privacy of the individual, more than just abortion. And then they throw in the Comstock Act and that bull crap, a 150-year-old law on obscenity. That's just garbage. But you were saying,
no, I just it's you make you make a valid point, but I'm still I'm still thinking if you're hemorrhaging, if you're literally hemorrhaging, I'm sure you're getting care. And this is
no.
the problem with the medical field is insurance, and the insurance is making these decisions, and then the doctors. If you know if you're
But Joel, this case is in the Supreme Court because these group of doctors and dentists are saying, "Hey,
they want the same thing that
it's a
they
frivolous
want the same thing
lawsuit."
that the nuns wanted.
Exactly.
The nuns wanted to make sure that they weren't forced.
By checking the box on the form for the ACA, the American or Affordable Care Act, by checking the box saying that they are
The law mandated that everybody had to do
right,
it if they had employees, and no,
and they ruled in favor like
they
you
ruled in
don't.
favor of the
But
nuns.
but then they also asked the courts to um, um, what's the word I'm looking for?
Relieve
Forgive them or relieve them of having to check the box saying that they are, not that they're what's the word? Not immune, but
they're not going to provide it.
exactly. They debated that. They argued that they didn't want to have to check the box
Yeah,
because it was still part of contributing to the sin.
well,
Aren't we all born with original sin? So if I walk into a doctor's office and will the doctor say, "Well, you were born with original sin. I can't put a band-aid on that cut you have." and let me bleed out.
I love it when David goes to like the absolute like will never happen things because I love that. I
We
love that.
but those things are
Look,
we never thought that
I can't put a
these
band-aid
things
on
were going to
myself. I can't
happen.
put a band-aid on myself because I
Women are
like
going to septic. They women they're him.
oh, that doesn't matter. You don't know whether it's a man or a woman coming in, anyways. I mean, come on. I mean, listen, the whole world is changing, David. This
It
is,
is.
and this is a case where, you know, it's going to be looked at. I think with the Roberts Court, it's going to be looked at uh, in a strong conservative way. But I don't think it jeopardize. I just don't see that we're going to put up extra roadblocks. I mean, the states are doing that as it is. So let the states have their rights to do what they want to do and let people decide whether they want to live in a state that doesn't want abortion or live in a state that wants to have it freely accessible.
Right. Well, it seems like all the justices except for Alito and Thomas seem to support the Solicitor General's argument. And then there's, is it Anne or Amy Hawley?
Amy.
Amy Hawley arguing on behalf of these doctors. Way to hang your career on that one. Miss Hawley, the senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley's wife and lawyer. So,
It'll be interesting. I see. I'm one of the few people I think that like really impressed with the Roberts Court and where he's gone. There have
you
been
sure?
there have been things, decisions that are controversial, but I don't think Roberts really tries to he tries to make sure there's a compromise. Really these decisions have been they're well written. I've read several of them and they're well written.
Well, his decision to curtail a lot of the judge shopping, especially with Judge Kasimic, if I remember correctly,
Mm.
out of Texas, that was a good move by Justice Roberts.
Yeah, I look. I know that Republicans, the conservatives, wanted him to make this decision or make this decision,
Mhm.
but he's sticking to the thing with the law is you can't just make a decision. You have to support that decision. That's
Mm.
why they write these decisions. That's why you get to read them. And that's why, if you understand them, you'd be probably come to the table with a, hey, you know what? They did their due diligence.
Right.
Those that dissented had this reason. Those that, agreed had this reason. And then they can stand on their own. So that's where you need to be is read the decisions themselves. But I have confidence that this court will do the right thing. And I don't, I just don't see it restricting. I don't see them wanting to restrict access to health care.
Not yet.
Like, share, comment, like that's it. I think that's where we're at. I like this. I like this court. I'm probably one of the few that do.
Mhm.
Uh,
We'll have a decision hopefully soon from the Florida Supreme Court in regards to the abortion access amendment that reached a required number of signatures, and hopefully it will meet the requirements set forth by the Constitution
yeah, I'm sure it
to
won't.
be on the ballot.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it won't.
Wow. And
I'm
then
sure it'll get kicked out.
we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the decision on the 15-week abortion ban here in Florida. And if that is ruled in favor, it automatically kicks in the 6-week ban. So
Well, we're gonna see.
here we go.
Florida anti-abortion.
Well, medical abortion, surgical abortion, mifepristone will still be available in Florida, though,
Yeah.
for
Like,
now.
like, share, subscribe. make your comments. Let us know what you want. More content, you know?
Yeah, please share it. Let us know. We love to hear what you have to say. Bring your facts, not your feelings. I'd love to, reply to comments. We love to engage with our community because we are your political innovators, always innovating, always thinking outside the box and winning. We love to win.
You can't
Winning is
make
fun.
you can't make this shit up. I'm Joel Hoxley, David Washington. Thank you. Tune in to our next show.